Well, I finally finished 50. 50 years, that is. I turned 50 years old a couple of days ago, so I thought I'd make this brief overview of my life so far. And this video is premiering at my birthday party, so to those of you here at my party, thanks for coming. 17 years ago, I split up my life into 2,000-day segments when I turned 12,000 days old and listed all the places I had lived as a kid. This time, I'm splitting things up roughly by decade into 5 major eras, so here they are. I was born at an early age in Orange, California, and spent most of my first decades in Mexico. This is volume 2 of the cleverly named newsletter my parents wrote for many decades. I'm the oldest grandchild and great-grandchild on my dad's side. This is me at 6 months and at 1 year. I'll let my dad describe one of our first houses in Mexico.
And then I don't know how soon, pretty soon I went and got some wood out in the forest and was trying to saw something to make a door out of. And also you can see I already propped the place up because it looked like it was leaning and falling over.
Transportation was by car, or by plane, or by mule. And instead of running water, we had walking water. This was our washing machine. And here you can see my dad's laptop, his cell phone, and the MP3 player. I think it was during this time that I learned to love Mexican food. My parents worked on language learning, but also fixing things and doing basic medical needs. Pretty soon, at age 2, I had a brother, then I turned 3, then a bit before age 4, a new sister came along, and at age 7, another brother. So by the end of the decade, there were 4 of us kids, and we had moved to Dallas, Texas. Here are some school pictures, and my 9th and 10th birthdays. The next 8 years take me from 4th grade through high school into college. The summer of 1981, we moved from Dallas, Texas to Tucson, Arizona, where I lived from 5th grade through the end of high school. I have great memories of Tucson, even though I was only there for 7 years. I won an art contest in 6th grade. We went to Alaska for several weeks with my grandparents in their motorhome. We spent 1 school year in Temple City, California, then moved back to Tucson for my last 3 years of high school. I might have been a little bit of a nerd back then. I learned to program computers. I liked reading. I did a science fair project about writing fractions in base 12, and I asked for a dictionary as a graduation present. I turned 18 about a month before this picture of me walking out of my very last high school class. I graduated from Canyon del Oro High School in Tucson on May 24th, 1989. I started the next season of my life in August of 1989 by moving back to my native state of California to attend Biola University. I spent 4 years in dorm rooms, then 4 years in apartments, and I wasn't planning on it, but it turns out that I've lived within 3 miles of Biola's campus ever since then. During this time there were trips to Mexico, a family reunion, I was in my brother's wedding, and I was the MC for my sister's wedding reception. Also, my first niece was born. In November 1997, I moved into a rented house on Fairvilla Drive in La Mirada, where I lived with a bunch of different housemates for the next 13 years. We had a pool, so we had lots of get-togethers. During those years, there were trips to Colorado's Rocky Mountains, Yosemite, Joshua Tree, Ohio, and Mexico. There was another family reunion, several celebrations, and several weddings, including my youngest brother's. Fairvilla was kind of a bachelor pad, and there were difficult times, including me failing out of a PhD program. But hey, I ended up with a master's degree from USC, and I have fond memories of that time. It was also during this time that I started teaching at Biola in fall of 1998, and later made my first YouTube videos. This most recent era of my life started a few months before my 40th birthday when I moved out of Fairvilla. Since then, I've lived in 2 different houses, first with Alan Yet in his house in Buena Park for 5 years, and now with the Kleist family and Joseph in La Mirada. I've continued to teach at Biola while transitioning into a staff role. And I've continued making YouTube videos and have been in several student productions. During these years, there have been lots of celebrations and events at work and with other friends, plus some trips, including Boston, Big Bear, Death Valley, a cross-country trip all the way from Jacksonville, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, Big Sur, Oregon to see the eclipse, and Lake Tahoe. And even some international travel. My parents and I had never been out of North America until we flew together in 2013 to see my sister in Sri Lanka. And then in 2018, Joseph and I went to Jordan for a YouTube thing. And when I don't have time to travel far, I love doing day trips with friends to places like Oceanside and Hollywood. And it's especially fun if there's a dog along for the ride. So, God has richly blessed me over the past 5 decades. I'm happy to have finished 50 years, and I'm looking forward to what He has for me in the future. I'll finish by mentioning a related goal I had. A few years back at my friend Kristen's birthday party, I heard the idea of visiting all 50 states by age 50. I liked the idea and realized that I wasn't too far away. So you can see some of these other videos about some of my trips. Well, I finished 48 states when I was 48, but then the pandemic came, and so now I'm 50, and Kristen is... Just kidding, Kristen, I know you're watching. I'm not going to give away your age. Anyway, I had been to 48 states, but then I found a super cheap flight to Hawaii and went there for one night last month. So I had 49 at age 49. That just left Wyoming. Unfortunately, it's expensive to fly there. Fortunately, I discovered it's only 90 minutes from the Denver airport. So I'm happy to announce that just yesterday, I got back from a 2-day trip to Cheyenne, Wyoming. It snowed for a couple hours as soon as I got here, and it's cold, literally freezing, 24 degrees right now. I made it across the border 6 hours before my deadline and have finally finished visiting all 50 states by age 50. So maybe I'm done traveling for a while. Oh wait, what's this? California has 58 counties? That gives me an idea. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see if I can do 58 counties by age 58. And for those of you here at the party, go get seconds. There's plenty of food. Thanks for coming.